Welcome everyone, I am Tock Custom and I am very excited to announce that I have signed a partnership with Brother Sewing Machines and they sent me their new heavy duty ST150HDH. So I've had this machine for a while and I just want to do a really basic tutorial on how to set this up, thread it, and use this machine. So the first thing you're going to want to do is look at the right side of your machine. Now in the back right corner of your machine you're going to see where the power supply goes, where the foot pedal will connect, and the on-off switch. So first I'm going to connect the power, and then I'm going to connect my foot pedal. So now I'm just going to hit the switch and we are going to turn on our machine. So even though this is a heavy duty machine, it still functions like a basic sewing machine. So I'm going to show you how to thread this machine. Now what you're going to need is an empty bobbin, which should have come with your machine, and some thread here. So I'm going to put my thread on the thread bar here and hold it in place with this stopper. Now, once your thread is in place, the first thing you're going to want to do is slide your thread through this little metal bracket here. Then we're going to go behind this white pin here. And then I'm going to go to the right side of this little metal pin sticking up here and wrap it around the left side of this wheel. And as you pull this, you should feel a little bit of resistance right here. Now, once you've gotten to this point, you can take the end of your thread, and I'm going to slide it between the center part of my bobbin and out one of the holes and out the top. So it should look something like this. All right, now we're going to move all the way down to the right side of the machine. I'm going to flip the bobbin over so that the thread is coming out the bottom, and I'm going to put our bobbin on this pin right here, and then pull the thread tight. Now we're going to snap the bobbin clutch to the right, and that's going to tell the machine that we're going to wind the bobbin. Now this machine has an automatic cutter on the bobbin threader itself, so if I hold this down with my finger and then press my foot on the foot pedal, it's going to cut that thread and start winding the bobbin. So we're going to let this run until the bobbin is full. And once your bobbin's full, you can just cut the thread. Make sure to snap this over to the left and then just pick it up. All right, so now we're looking at where the needle of our machine is. So we're going to slide this over and pop our bobbin casing off. And then I want to make sure that the thread is coming off in a counterclockwise direction. We're going to drop that in and then pull the thread so that it kind of goes into this groove here. We're going to go up, around, and there's a little cutter right here so that as I pull this tight, it will cut. And then we just put our case back on, and that is all set up and ready to go. Now that our bobbin's in place, we can thread the top of the machine. So we're going to do the same thing where we go through this metal bracket right here, and then we're going to go behind this white pin like we did before. But instead of going around this pin, we're just going to go straight down. So as I'm going down, it's going to tell me to loop it around where it says 3 here, and then come back up. And then as we come up to where it says 4, there's a little metal hook that we're going to go around to the left side of. Then I'm going to pull this back down. All right, so now your thread should fall about here, and I'm going to show you how to thread the needle and get started sewing. All right, so now your thread should be falling where it says 5 here. And I'm going to take my thread and hold it sideways like this, and we're going to go behind this metal pin where it says 6, like that, and it should kind of snap into place. Then we're going to pull this down. Now to use the automatic threader, I'm going to hold the thread with my right hand and put it right in the V of this little metal V right here. And I'm going to press this lever down with my left hand, and then I'm going to position the thread in the bottom of where that comes out, and then I let go, and it's going to make a loop in the back of my needle where I can grab this and pull this through. All right, now that our needle is threaded, I'm just going to position the thread between the little notch in our presser foot, and to make sure that the bobbin is threaded correctly, I'm going to lower my presser foot, and we're going to do one full rotation on our hand wheel here. And as I pull the thread and raise the foot, it should make a little loop and force the bobbin thread out. So now I can kind of see a little thread poking out. I'm going to grab that and pull that. So now our bobbin thread and our top thread are in the back. All right, now at this point your machine is all set up and you are ready to start sewing. Okay, so if you're brand new to sewing, I just wanted to show how we do a basic standard stitch. So I've got 2 pieces of flannel here, and I'm going to put them right sides together. Now I'm just going to take a couple of pins and we're going to pin the left side of these edges together. So now that we have our fabric ready, I'm going to put it underneath the presser foot and lower the foot like that. Alright, so now on pretty much every stitch I do, I always start with doing a front and back stitch. So I'm going to do a couple of stitches forward, and then a couple stitches backwards, and then I'm going to stitch all the way through to the other side. Just as a close-up, it's going to look like this, where I go forward, and then it's going to go backwards, and then back forward. So now I'm going to sew all the way to the other end. And now when I get to the end, I'm going to run off the fabric by about 1 stitch, do a few back stitches, and then we're going to go all the way off again. And those back stitches will really help to strengthen your seam so that it won't fall apart. Now I'm just going to cut my thread and see how this looks. Alright, so there is our first stitch, and as I open our fabric up, it should look something like that, where we've got a nice solid seam and everything is nice and clean on the inside. Alright, so that was the absolute basics of how we set up and use this machine. Now we're going to be doing a bunch of videos with the ST150HDH, so in our next video I think we're going to do a full stress test. I want to know what this thing can handle as a heavy-duty machine, and then after that we're going to do a bunch of tutorials and show you some of the other features of this particular machine. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have any questions about this video, please let me know. Otherwise, we will see you in the next video.